thank you all for coming out. Those of you who brought cars especially, thank you so much. You know, it's really neat to see people bring their cars out and tell their Cadillac story. In fact, we've been going around filming some of the people, asking them about their Cadillac story. There are 2 red Cadillac 1966 convertibles. One of them took 17 years to restore. That's a passion. You don't spend that much time working on something and not have a passion for it. Some of these cars are one of a kind. Cadillac started in 1903, actually started in 1902 as a corporation. 1903 was the first Cadillac. We actually have someone in our club that has a working, restored 1903 Cadillac, Colin Christie. And that's pretty neat. So we go all the way up to the current cars. Finley, our sponsor, great sponsor, has brought out some cars tonight that are kind of new and interesting. I think Cadillac continues to change. My wife and I drive a new car, and we like those new cars, but we also have an older car, and there's a lot of older cars here. And it's great to see those, you know, that connection with the past and the present. So tonight, we're going to be doing some things. I'm not sure where LJ's hanging out at. He was calling me 5 minutes ago, so I don't know where he's at. Thank you.
All right, cool. Wow, thank you for coming out here tonight again. My good friends that I perform with when they're in the city, American Trilogy, are going to be here in just about 5 minutes. But again, thank you to Finley Cadillac. It's not always about selling a car. It's about raising awareness to cool things. And of course, Cadillac LaSalle Club is one of those very cool things. My good friend Gary Anthony, do I need to tell you, he's not the Sammy Davis. No, he's not. But Gary, all 3 of these guys are some of the first entertainers I met almost 9 years ago when I came to Vegas. They're so kind. When I call them for a great cause, they're the type that go, how much money am I getting? No, they don't. They go, what's the date and what time do you want me there? That's the true spirit of a Las Vegas entertainer. So thank you, Gary. This guy right here was voted the #1 Graceland Elvis Presley. You might have seen him a couple years ago on Dave Letterman. Give it up for Justin, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yeah. This is the King of Diamonds, Rob Garrett, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for American Trilogy.
Thank you. So we all know this. I want everybody to sing really loud.
I don't see everybody clapping. Come on.
Where it began, I can't begin to know it, but then I know it's growing strong.
Was in the spring, and spring became the summer. Who'd have believed you'd come along? Come on, Frankie.
We're at the first inaugural car show, Cadillacs Under the Stars, CTS, if you will, and it's been fantastic. It's been so much fun to put this together. We have another car show each year. Next year will be April 29th at another location, but this year is our first here, and I'll tell you, we couldn't be more pleased. If you want to see a car look really great, the place to do it is on the grass or under the lights, and you can see that particularly in this first car that we're going to talk about. Hey Scott, thanks for coming out. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, no problem.
So tell us about your car.
It's a 1985 Eldorado convertible. I had about like 8 years now, so just been a pleasure to drive.
Have you done work to it, or did you just buy it this way?
I had to redo the interior for the most part, but everything else is pretty much like it was.
Wow. Fantastic automobile. Thank you so much, Scotty. We appreciate it. You too. Hey, John, thanks for coming out. Scott, thank you for coming out. We really appreciate it. How's the event? Been good?
It's been wonderful. Absolutely
All right.
great. Yes.
What do you think's the best part of it? What do you like?
It's always the cars.
The cars,
the cars are the best
at a
part.
car show, the cars are the best
Yeah,
thing.
but they're all Cadillacs. I mean, what could be better than a Cadillac?
What could be better than a Cadillac?
Absolutely.
What do you think?
A Honda.
He's also the GM of Honda, so we're gonna give him some space. We'll overlook that. Well, tell us about your car, guys. This is just awesome. Who's speaking on behalf of this
He's
dude?
the ham.
All right, Scott, tell us about the
Well,
car.
it's a 1966 DeVille convertible. It was originally a California car. It spent 17 years in restoration.
17 years.
17 years. The second owner that had the car in California, an older guy, actually got a little bit too old to finish it and gave it to his nephew in Ohio, which finished it, and then put it up for sale. And
So his nephew was the one who spent 17 years doing this?
no, the second owner in California.
Second owner in California did.
And the nephew
Wow.
took it in Ohio and finished it up and then sold it. So, but it's not a frame off, but it's engine's rebuilt, transmission's rebuilt, all the tops new, the paint. You saw the engine compartment.
We're going to look at the engine compartment. We want to see that. Can you open that, John? You know, when you're restoring a car, those of you who don't know, one of the things you try and do is make it look like it was original. And in order to show you that, in this particular car, we've got the battery, we've got these labels that are right on top here, and the way the hoses are done, the clamps, everything is just like it was when it was delivered from the factory. And in fact, I'm going to tell you, having bought a number of new cars, I'm sorry, John, having bought a number of new Cadillacs, they didn't look this good. I had to clean the engine when I got it. So this is absolutely amazing. Guys, thanks very much for coming out.
Thank you.
Thanks for showing your car. We appreciate it. You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, DR. As always, great partners.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. So Hal, tell us about your car. It's a beautiful car. Tell us about it, when you got it.
Well, first of all, it's a 1970 DeVille, which is a convertible drop top. This car is the last of the rear-wheel drive convertible cars that Cadillac made that were production cars. And then, of course, they started with convertibles later on. But this is a rear-wheel, last year, the rear-wheel drives. This car was initially sold in Phoenix, went to Las Vegas. I acquired it some years later, have all the paperwork on it. I've made some major changes. The color green is not the same, but it was a green car. Everything else has been pretty well changed because I liked improvements. And I wouldn't say modified, but resto modified.
Resto modified.
The wheels were just changed recently and tires. The motor's been changed to just a 500, which is the same motor basically of the family of big block Cadillacs. The transmission's a 700 R4, which was not in these Cadillacs. They were in the later model Cadillacs. And the interior's been done to my liking with a little cloth added. It's for comfort. And now, after quite a bit of different things that I've done to it, all the cooling system is fan operated. It doesn't run well at 110 degrees in Vegas with the temperatures on the street, so we had to go to fans, big fans.
All right. Well, something else you should know about Hal is the founder of the Las Vegas Cadillac and LaSalle Club back in 1998. So we owe him a great debt. He's on the board of directors, and He's one of our great people. Now, we're going to walk together over to this next car because it belongs to a member that's ailing right now, and so Hal's kind of representing his interest with the car, and he can tell us more about the car. All right, Hal, we're here in front of Mike and 40's car. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Mike's car?
Well, Mike is one of our members. And this is his 61 Series 62 convertible that Mike has had since about 93 in Long Island, New York. He brought it here when he retired about 5 years ago. He's become an asset to our club and helping our club with all the different events that we do. He's also my right-hand guy in the DeVille Drop Top chapter that I started with Cadillac. The car has got an excellent paint job, almost flawless, pristine. The chrome and the bright work have been redone, rebuffed. It has a new leather skin on the seats that was just picked out and installed this year. And so as far as cosmetics, the car is in great cosmetic condition. Motor and trans are good. Tires and brakes are good. But what you see is really pristine on a 61.
Thanks very much, Hal. We appreciate it. All right, Tom, tell us a little bit about your car.
Well, I think it's my fourth Cadillac. I've had Cadillacs before, but I never had one that was new, and I never had one that I really would like to show off.
Right.
So when I retired and decided it was my time to get a new car, I knew that I wanted to get a coupe,
Right.
and I knew that I wanted to get one that would match good with the top. Unfortunately, the tops were not available here in Las Vegas. So I got the car here, and I went to Phoenix to have the top put on.
Wow.
And so that's what I've got. And the car itself must be a little bit of a rare thing because I got it at Cadillac of Las Vegas, and they told me that they had to look so hard that there was not another one like it for 500 miles.
Wow.
In any direction.
That's great. Well, something I want to point out, and you may want to see this, is that this man is red and white, just exactly like his car. So, thank you so much, Tom.
Well,
we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming out.
Okay, thank you.
A little bit about the Le Cabriolet.
Well, the Le Cabriolet, they only made them for 3 years. That would be 1978, 79, and 1980. In this particular 79 year, they only made 300 of them. And it was a Hessen-Eisenhardt conversion. The coach company themselves made these cars for Cadillac. And they ran into a lot of problems because 1970 was supposed to have been the last year of the convertible. And then they come back and they authorized so many Cadillac convertibles after that and wound up with some lawsuits. So then they stopped them.
Yeah. How long have you had the car?
I've had the car about 6-7 years.
Great.
I'm the second owner.
All right. I can tell you that Bob's a member of our club, has been for a very long time, and we appreciate him. Thanks for coming out.
You're welcome. Take care.
Jay and Betsy, thank you so much. Now, I understand you guys came all the way from Southern California to this show. That's pretty impressive. Why would you do that?
Why would we do that?
Well, because we like to go to shows.
All right.
And we
fair
like
enough.
to drive our beauty.
All right, tell us about your beauty.
Well, 15 years ago, I happened to find it in Pasadena just by chance. And it had just come out of a 30-year storage.
Oh, wow, 30 years.
So it was not very pretty. But I said, that's all right. I can fix it. So I did.
Great.
It took me about 10 years, I guess, to really get it in this shape.
Is this the only Cadillac you two have?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just beautiful. Why don't you stand aside just a little bit? We'll get a look at that. It's just an awesome car. And it's what year?
61.
61.
Coupe de Ville.
Sedan de Ville?
Sedan de Ville.
All right, excellent. Thank you guys very much.
All right.
Well, hi, Richard. Tell us about your car. What is it?
Mine is a 64 Cadillac Eldorado convertible. Take that back, DeVille convertible. And I bought it about 2 years ago and bringing it back to life again.
Wonderful. So you've been restoring it.
Yes.
What have you done recently to it?
I painted it and had all new leather upholstery put in, factory.
Wow. So in the 2 years you've had it, you've kind of brought it around.
I brought it around. It looks a lot better than what I did when I bought it, but it was still a nice looking car when I bought it.
Excellent.
And I'm very happy with it.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Richard is also a member of the Las Vegas Cadillac and LaSalle Club and one of our stalwarts. Thank you so much, Richard.
Thank you.
Well, Forrest, thanks for coming out tonight. Tell us about your beautiful car.
It's a 1957 Eldorado Barritz, and they made 1,800 of them. And I got the car in 2011, and I started a restoration in about 2012, and I didn't get done till 2016.
Wow, that's quite a while.
Yeah,
Quite
it's
a
lot
process.
A process. So it takes a lot of patience.
Yes, it does. Well, you have a beautiful car. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Craig, thanks for coming out tonight. Tell us a little bit about your car.
Well, it's a 2011 Cadillac CTS V Coupe, 6-speed manual trans. I've done a lot of work with it. It's on air ride suspension.
Yeah.
I have full heads done with cams, or with cam work. Ported snout and the supercharger, ZL1 lid, 5-inch intake. Really a lot done. So a lot of every cooling option as well done on the car with Weapon X track package cooler, heat exchanger. And then again, I have the airbag tanks in the trunk,
right?
Which are
so
part
it's
of
fully bagged.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And then also a little extra with the methanol injection.
Okay, now besides the methanol injection, tell us what the brake horsepower is with what you've done to it so far.
I'm a little over 800 horsepower to the wheels.
Oh my God!
Almost 1,000 to the crank. And
now, when you
still
do the
don't think I'm not done yet.
When you do the methanol, if you decide to kick that in, well, what does that increase the horsepower to?
Oh, well, that's what's putting me at about the 800 mark.
Is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, wow.
Yes, sir.
That's incredible. How long have you owned the car? Did you buy it new?
No, I did not buy new. I was second owner, I believe.
Okay.
And so far, it's pretty clean. There's just some little things I need to do with it. That, of course, I want to make it a little bit cleaner. But yeah, everything, when I bought the car, was completely stock. And it was just something that,
Well, stock is a relative term. As soon as you do
when you see a
it's
Cadillac
not really stock.
that sounds like this,
I know. Yeah.
it's just, what is that?
Did you tune the exhaust system as well?
I did, sir. I have a full exhaust system as well.
Yeah.
With the Corsa Sport axle backs.
Uh-huh.
But she is probably the loudest car here.
Yes.
Which
I heard it come in. It's pretty nice, pretty sweet.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So
I'm proud of it. I'm happy with it. And again, this is my first Cadillac.
Oh, great.
And I couldn't be more happy.
Kind of surprised at how cool Cadillacs are, aren't
yes.
you? Yeah.
Well, when you look at this, it's like, is that really a Cadillac? Yes, it is.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Craig, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you
We
very much.
appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's what real horsepower sounds like. Hey, Dan, how are you tonight?
Very good.
It's good to see you. Thanks for coming out. Tell us about your car.
Well, this is a 1949 four-door sedan. I've owned it for almost a year this year. Well, just bought it earlier this year, but it was well taken care of, and it shines pretty, and I like bringing it out so other people can see it. And
it's stock with one exception.
With what?
Well, it has one exception to being stock.
Well, there's a radio that needs to be changed in it to make it back to the original.
And it's got air conditioning.
And it's got air conditioning, you're right.
Yeah. It's great to have an old car, but with air conditioning, it's even
Yes, that's it. That's right.
great. Well, thanks for coming out tonight, Dan. We appreciate it.
All right, DR, thank you.
Hey, Gary, thanks for coming out tonight. We appreciate it.
Good to be here.
Tell us about your car.
Well, this is a 1976 Cadillac Sedan DeVille. It was my father's car. I inherited this when he passed away. So we've had this in the family for a long time. This was his everyday driver. Car has 188,000 miles on it. It is bone stock. They've never done a thing. Everything still works except the antenna, which doesn't move anymore. But other than that, it's a great car.
So it's a survivor.
It's a survivor.
Just
Rides like
the
a champ.
rest of us that are
That's
getting
right.
old.
Runs like a champ.
right.
It'll do 70 miles an hour down the freeway all day long and not break a sweat.
Well, thanks, Gary. We appreciate it. Thanks for coming out. Gary is also on the board of directors for the Las Vegas Cadillac and LaSalle Club. Does a wonderful job. He does all these events. Do 2 car shows a year, and it's a lot more work than just 2, right?
A little bit.
Okay. Thank you, Gary. Hey, Kat, thanks for coming out tonight.
Oh, you
it's a real pleasure to have you. You're kind of a celebrity to be out
Well, weather
here.
kind of turned, didn't it? All
It
of
did,
a sudden?
yeah. It's a
Whoa.
little colder than we expected, but this is our first inaugural show, so.
I love
you know,
it. This is
figure it
fabulous.
out.
This is wonderful.
What do you think? Have you seen a Cadillac car show before?
I have not.
Okay.
But I've seen a lot of friends. I know a lot of friends who have them.
Okay.
Vintage Cadillac cars,
Yeah.
and I especially like the hearse over there with Mr. Blue Boy in the back. So
Oh, yeah.
you're like.
Okay, great. Well, you've got a few titles and a few things you've done. Tell us about your journey.
Well, my journey, right now, I am Miss Senior Universe, but it started with Miss Senior Nevada in 2013. And we honor women who are over 60. So I'd never been in a pageant before, and I won. And then I moved on to Miss Senior USA and crowned a new Miss Senior USA and moved into Miss Senior Universe. And we honor women over 60 and all their life accomplishments and just these amazing women that from 60 to 95. We have World War II veterans across the country.
Wow.
We have the seniors and senior queens in every state, and they're amazing. They're they're blind motivational speakers. They're book writers. They're breast cancer survivors.
Wow.
So these women are just inspiring and absolutely incredible.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
You bet.
Thanks for being with us. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Hope you had a great time.
I did.
Thanks for coming out tonight. We really appreciate it. Thanks for bringing your beautiful convertible out. Tell us about it.
I'm a real stickler for original cars, original paint, original interior. Not cars that have been restored to original, cars that are original, no matter how bad the paint gets. And I'm from Detroit. I'm a sucker for anything without rust and original, and just an opportunity to get it out has been great.
Well, this is a beautiful car. So it's what year?
1960 convertible, original red-black combination car.
Excellent. Just beautiful. Wonderful example of the car. Well, Chris, thanks again for coming out. We appreciate it.
Pleasure's all mine. Great show. Thanks for doing it.
Okay, Spree, thanks so much for coming out. We appreciate having you here.
Thank you.
What do you think of this car show? This is pretty nice,
It's
right?
very nice setting, very nice area. It's my first time coming. Definitely will come back. Food smells good, beautiful cars.
52 cars out here. Is that
52.
amazing?
It's
This
really
is all
is.
people, not just members of the club,
Yeah.
but all over the community.
Yeah, someone had told me about it, like it was last week. I was at on Easter here, Cars and Coffee, and so I'm glad I made it out today. And I'm seeing some really nice cars, very nice vehicles.
Great. Tell us about your car. This is a beautiful car.
Mine's a 65 DeVille convertible. I'm the third owner. I've gone through it. I've done everything to it, from the suspension, the motor, upholstery.
Have you kept it original, or?
Yeah, it's original.
Yeah, okay.
The color's a little bit different, but everything is original. The chrome work's all original. Unfortunately, I have to sell it. But I have 2 other classic cars, and wife said one has to go.
Okay, yeah. They can be a bit controlling like that. Right?
Yeah. So it's either the car
I feel your pain.
or her. So I
feel your pain.
told her I'd keep her. Right. So hopefully I'll keep this a little longer. We'll see.
Well, Spree, it's great to have you out.
Thank
you so much.
Thank you.
You have a great night.
Thank you.
Hey, Ed, thanks for coming out to the show tonight. We really appreciate it.
And by the way, happy birthday.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Ed, tell us about this car.
This is a 1950 Cadillac 62 model coupe. And this one happens to be a nice car. It's only got 15,000 original miles.
Wow, so it's a true survivor then, isn't it?
It is definitely, well, they call it a capsule.
A time capsule.
Car.
Okay.
And it runs as good as it looks.
Beautiful, beautiful. One of the things I noticed on this car, which is not very often seen, are the plastic seat covers. Tell us about that.
Those plastic seat covers were put on at the factory for protection, and they've never been off. They're still there. They're clear plastic. You can even see the stitching just as straight as an arrow because it's never been off. Those plastic seats have been there all those years.
It's rumored that none of those stitches have been broken either.
They're all perfect.
Perfect, wonderful. So this is one of your cars. Let's go over and look at this other one.
Okay.
Tell us about this car, please.
This one here is a 1949 62 model fastback.
Okay.
And fantastic car. It's Madeira maroon in color. Everything's been redone on this. The chrome is all new. The paint is new. The interior is new. It's just a fantastic car.
Wonderful, thank you. And by the way, both these cars are up for sale, right?
You bet they are.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much, Ed. We appreciate you coming out.
And again, happy birthday.
Thank you so much. Hey, Larry, thanks so much for coming out to the show tonight. We really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for inviting me. I think it's marvelous. I love it. It's cool.
A lot of good cars.
And I like the music and the cars and the camaraderie and the people. It's what's to not like.
Yeah, I agree. What's to not like? Well, tell us about your beautiful car, will you?
Well, I am the current caretaker of it. It's a 1960 Series 6239, which was the entry-level Cadillac of the day. And it is affectionately known as a flat top because of obviously the top and the rear window of it.
Right.
But it is, I've owned it for 2 years, and like I said, I'm just the current caretaker of it. And it's all original with the exception of one repaint, and the color is Persian sand, which to me is just, they've never been anything like it since.
It's beautiful color. It really shows well on the lights, doesn't it?
I know. I was working on it today, just kind of sprucing it up for tonight, the white walls. But interestingly enough, it has crank windows for a Cadillac, and that's a very odd thing. And the people put air conditioning, which is very unusual in 1960. It was 10% of the cost of the car. And it's got 6-way power seats, and when it came to the $118 extra for the windows, they said, Mildred, we have to stop somewhere.
We spent enough.
And so it's just, I love it. And it's wonderful to do charity events because it's a win-win. I get to drive my car, I get to talk to people about my car, and it's just, and the charities are wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I want to point out that Larry is also a member of the Las Vegas Cadillac and LaSalle Club and has been for years, and we really appreciate him. He's a huge contribution to the club.
Thank you
Larry,
very much.
thanks so much for coming out.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Kyle, thanks so much for coming out tonight. We really appreciate you coming out. Tell us about your car.
1968 Cadillac Coupe de Ville. Had it since I was 18 years old. I'm 44.
Really?
Last time I registered it, if you check my tags, was 1988. So I won't give up my plates from California. Been pulled over a couple times. I tell them my story, and the cops say, "All right, it's insured though, right? Yep, here's the insurance. Okay, get out of here."
That is so cool. That's very cool.
Yeah, I won't give up my plates. But my dad bought me the car when I was 18. It obviously didn't look like this. It was just stock original. and started tinkering with it, and I've had a lot of cars over the years, but this is the one I can't seem to get rid of.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah.
So your intention is to make it a resto mod kind of a car?
Everything's original on it except for the suspension. So that's all. You know, tinkering the rims are original. I just took the hubcaps off and had them painted and stuff like that, but it's all original.
Very nice. Well, we appreciate you coming out. What do you think of the show?
Oh, it's great. Got a bunch of great cars here. I like what you guys do, and keeping the nostalgia alive.
Hey, remember that membership is free tonight,
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
don't forget that.
Great.
Thanks so much for coming out.
Take care.
We appreciate it. Janet, thanks so much for coming out tonight. We really appreciate it.
Great being here.
How do you like the show?
It's been really fun.
Janet's also a member of the Las Vegas Cadillac and LaSalle Club, and she's got a very pristine car. Tell us about your car.
My car's a 1999 DeVille, and it's special because it's the 50th anniversary model of the DeVille.
Very cool. I see you got the specs right there in the window. The price was $44,000 when new. Wow. If only you could buy a Cadillac for $44,000 now.
No, I don't think so.
Well, we really like your car. Thank you so much. Janet is also a member of the Las Vegas Cadillac and LaSalle Club. Thank you so much for coming out. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey, John, thanks so much for coming out to the show tonight. We really appreciate it. Tell us a little bit about your car.
That's a 1937 Cadillac 6027, and it's been fully restored. It's a frame-off restoration, and it's also taken first place at the Grand National in Las Vegas.
Very nice. Very nice. It's a beautiful car. How long did it take you to do the restoration?
About 10 years.
10 years for the restoration. Oh my gosh. Clearly you have a passion for Cadillacs.
Well, that and it's a pretty little car. It had a lot of possibilities, and I'm happy that they showed the restoration.
It shows really well. Thank you so much for coming out. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All the best. Without further ado, let's announce these winners. And if you're a winner, would you please come up here? The first one is a celebrity pick. You remember the nice celebrities that came and serenaded you for a little bit? Well, they made a pick as well. And theirs is car number 34, which is a 1968 Cadillac owned by Kyle Reef. So Kyle, if you can come on up here. Award comes from our charity, Toys for Smiles. And that award goes to a 1963 Series 62, and the owner is Charles Barber. So if you would come, third pick is by the Village Square. It's car number 42, and it's a 1950 Cadillac two-door owned by Ed Shalakian. This is from the Cadillac Club, and this is a 1961 convertible owned by Mike Conforti. Billy Cadillac has picked a 1957 Eldorado that's owned by Forrest Johnson. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our show for tonight. Thank you so much for taking this little trip with us, those of you who are seeing it after the fact. We hope you'll come out next year. This was our first annual show, and we hope to have it many more years. Seems the community wants to support it, and we're going to be here to provide it. Thank you so much.